All right, guys, today on the HELLSTANG project, we're going to be talking about the front accessory drive bracket. So one thing with these Ford 5-liter motors, 302s, something I really hate is the ugliness of these factory brackets, right? So, I mean, they're huge, they're thick, and they kind of cover up half the freaking motor, right? So what we're going to do today, when I was on some of the forums and the Facebook groups, some of the guys have said they've been able to take their brackets and kind of chop off, some of the stuff we don't need. So this is the factory alternator bracket with the smog pump. Of course, we don't have a smog pump anymore. So what I'm kind of going to, try to do is just kind of cut, a lot of this bottom stuff that we don't need off. And then I want to take these brackets over to my local sandblaster powder coater, and we're going to get them powder coated, probably just like a silver, like an aluminum, in a nice silver look, so they look good. And then we can get them bolted onto the front of the turbo motor for the HELLSTANG. Now in this bracket here, I'm still going to have AC and power steering. Power steering and AC. So there's not a whole lot we can do. I think what I might do on this one, like we're not going to have the factory coil anymore. We're going to go with a Holley dual sync distributor. So I'll probably, like, for example, cut this off. Maybe we can drill some holes in the top of here, maybe drill some holes all throughout here just to, lighten it up, and then you can actually see through it a little bit better too. So just might do some little things like that, see what we can do. Hopefully we don't screw them up, because these brackets are 94 to 95 specific. So they only made these things for 2 years, and they are pretty expensive if I end up screwing one up. But we're going to kind of see how much material we can remove, see how much cooler looking we can make them. So let's get to it. All right, so first up, I think I'm going to start messing with the alternator bracket. So on this guy, we've just got 3 bolts that we need to keep that are going to actually locate this bad boy onto the cylinder head. Of course, above this would be the tensioner pulley thing, so we got to keep that too, right? So basically, we could cut this from right below this bottom hole and maybe just do a straight cut, like something like that. That way it kind of keeps all this part. I mean, honestly, we could get even crazier and maybe actually, yeah, maybe we'll do that. Actually, we could keep it from like this here and just go across. I don't know. So I'm going to kind of start chopping stuff up and just kind of see what I think. There's actually a webbing here too. So actually, the backside looks easier to cut. So anyway, maybe something like that. We'll just slice through, maybe come back up here, follow that. So we'll see. But tools for the day, I think we're going to have the old trusty angle grinder, the grinder, and I've got a whole set of some hole saws. And so again, kind of what I'm thinking is, once we get all this cut, then maybe we'll just start drilling some holes in some of this stuff. And the only thing is we just got to make sure, we don't take too much material where it really weakens the aluminum, and then we end up getting cracks, down the road where a chunk of this breaks off or something. But, for this one I think is going to be fine. I mean, all it is holding the alternator. So as long as these are pretty strong, should be okay. But anyway, start cutting it up, see where we get. All right, so after a few different tools, right? We got a little bit of everything here. We got this baby off, so that saves us a pound or two. And we still need to do a bunch more work on this thing, but at least now we kind of got it looking a lot better. So obviously we'll kind of clean this up, smooth all this stuff up. I'm still not sure if I want to maybe even cut it a little higher, like cut it up to this point. So I'm going to stare at it for a minute, kind of see what we want to do. Might even like drill some holes in here. I think all this stuff's probably fine. But I don't know, even from the backside, I'm thinking like maybe just doing some kind of speed holes, you know, through all this stuff. I mean, it looks like it's still going to be plenty strong, even if it has some little holes in it here and there. So that might be kind of what I do. Just make it look a little bit cooler. All right, so coming back to this project, so far we got a couple little holes drilled. I want to drill kind of a few more holes down, just kind of make this thing look a little bit cooler. I got the big hole drilled right there, and I tried to actually drill a hole here. I don't know how well that turned out, but ended up, I drilled it out right on top of one of these webs, so that didn't work out too well. But anyway, just kind of, you know, like I said, drilling some holes, kind of screwing around, and then I'll kind of take the grinder and stuff. We'll kind of grind all this stuff smooth, maybe even take the file a little bit of the stuff, and then we'll get this one, this will be done. Then we can drop it off to go get powder coated. So let's keep getting this one knocked out. I'll show you guys what we end up with. Here is what we ended up with for this alternator bracket. So again, I just kind of went crazy, drilled a bunch of holes. I don't know, tried to make it look cool. There's still nothing you can really do to make this thing look cool. But, you know, once the tensioner's on here anyway, that's going to, you know, take up a big chunk. And honestly, this thing's kind of hidden away pretty well anyway, but it's going to end up being, you know, something kind of like that. So definitely way cooler than the stock one. And I think once we get it, you know, painted, powder coated to look good, I've got to figure out the clocking of that turbo though, because I'm not running an intercooler and I want that outlet to go right into the throttle body. But it looks like it's going to have some, it's going to be really close to the alternator. So we got to figure that out. But anyway, this one's cool. Now we just got to move on to this boy right here. So this one won't have as much, I mean, there's not really a lot of cutting. I'm going to go ahead and chop this piece off. And I think same thing, we're just going to drill kind of a bunch of holes. I don't know, maybe even in some of this stuff, just, I don't know, wherever we can. Again, just kind of drill some holes, make it look a little cooler, and then we're going to get these babies off to go get powder coated. All right, guys, here are the fruits of our labor. So got this crap all drilled out. Whole lot lighter, but more importantly, just a lot cooler looking. That's the big problem with these SN95 Ford, 5-liter brackets. They're ugly. There's no aftermarket options unless you switch to a Fox body setup, which is a little bit farther, and then that causes kind of other issues. So, wanted to just trim these guys up, get these looking a little bit sexier, and I think we accomplished the task. So, especially this one turned out really cool with all the big holes. This one you couldn't get as many big holes because these little things here are different on the back side. So, but some of that turned out cool. So I'm still not sure if I'm going to drop these off and get them powder coated black or silver. So this is what we're rocking right now. So anyway, you guys tell me, bleep below in the comments. I'm going to drop these bad boys off hopefully tomorrow morning, and we'll have this back next week, and then we can get it bolted on, see how everything looks. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. Hopefully it helps you out. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.